everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bagged and Board. I am Vlad St. Valentine, and with me is the host with the Ramoses, Mr. Caidan Ramos.
How you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm glad to have you back behind the table again.
I know, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, little few weeks for me, life-wise.
Yeah, I know you've had some family stuff going on, and thoughts and prayers and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And we love you. And if you need to reach around,
Talk to
Joey.
Joey.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're going to talk about the new comic Stray Dogs from Image, written by Tony Fleecs and Trish Forstner. And I recently met Tony Rodriguez, the layout artist and one of the owners of the comics, at a signing, and got the first edition signed.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm loving their horror movie variants. That's what got me reading Deceased in the first place, was just because of the horror movie variants.
Yeah.
And they quickly ran out of ideas and just started making crappy versions of their own movie covers. That's not even a...
Yeah, the Wonder Woman cover that was done on Harley Quinn is lazy.
This comic was... All right, so I don't want to spoil too much about this comic, so we're not going to do a complete kind of bagged and board like we normally would, because I don't think I want to spoil this.
No.
I think I kind of want to encourage people to go read it.
Yes.
And normally on Bagged and Board, we usually go through things that you guys already have read or should have already read, and you're just hearing us run it down and talk about it a little bit. I mean, we've done stuff that's big hits in Maximum Carnage now since the 90s. I hope I'm not spoiling that for you guys. But this series here is one that I had to say, the moment I opened it, first of all, the art's wonderful, but the art is very Disney.
Yes.
And that's on purpose. It's to play with the nature of the series. So I guess we should say what the series is about. And can we really say what it's about without giving too much away? Because honestly, being hit by it right off the bat was... The way you explained it to me, I thought it was going to be a little bit different than what actually I got. And what I got was like, okay, this is a very interesting story.
Yeah. So the way that I describe it, it's not fully into it. I say... It's Secret Life of Pets from Disney Pixar meets BTK, the serial killer.
You're basically seeing pets reacting to a human serial killer. So it's not like there's anamorphic pets or these pets or dogs or there's a serial killer dog or something someone that's killing dogs. No, it's, humans killing humans, but the pets who are owned by these humans are, witness to these events, and we're seeing all these things through the lens of their eyes.
Yeah, it's very much all dogs go to heaven.
And first of all, my heart's in my throat from the beginning because, I, like most of you on the internet who have become frequently cut off from, more and more cut off from your fellow humans, I like dogs more than I like people. So the second, it's like the Armageddon syndrome, you know what I mean? When the meteor hit and the fat guy with the little dog.
Yeah.
The next shot was the dog hanging by its leash and everyone's like, oh God, get the dog. Owner got fucking vaporized. No one gives a shit. I don't think no one thought about what happened to that owner.
No.
And I'm with them. Who cares about the owner? I think he was having an argument with somebody. He might have been a dick. But we care about the dogs. You care about dogs. So as soon as I know what I'm getting into, it's going to be dogs in a horrible situation. I'm like, oh God, okay. The whole time I'm just like, oh no, this is going to be uncomfortable. And there was one moment where they mention, they allude to some abuse, whether it was actual abuse or maybe he just, hurt himself in the timeout shed or something, which one of my dogs has a limp and I don't know why. When we went to the vet and asked him why she wasn't limping that day. It might just be how she sits on it because she's got a big fat butt.
But anyways, this story lulls you in, and it's great because it doesn't hit you in the first issue to the last little bit.
Well, okay. I didn't go in knowing what I was going to get, right? You had explained it to me that way, so I knew there was going to be something murderous involved, and obviously the covers, the homages to the horror movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I knew I was going to get something that was mildly, there was going to be bloody, and there was going to be something adult here with the guise of the Disney sweet-looking puppy dogs and stuff, which I wasn't disappointed in that regard. But I guess my hackles being up, when we saw the first scene with the...
At the vet?
At the vet, and what they do go through, and I will go ahead and tell this bit because it does help with what the book's kind of about. The owner of the little dog, who I guess is kind of be one of our protagonists here. It's an ensemble cast. I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, she's the final girl, I guess.
I don't know. It's a little small toy dog, and she's getting taken to the vet for a shot. She's a very nervous dog, and the owner's basically, showing concern. She's been nervous the whole way here. I think she remembers the shot, and yada, yada, yada. I don't want her to hate me for giving her the shot. And then the vet goes over basically establishing the fundamentals for the way we're going to view the dogs the rest of the way, or how the dogs are going to act the rest of the way. Because what she says is their memories don't work that way. They don't really, they remember their where they eat, they remember commands, but they don't remember necessarily what happened to them last week. And they cannot hate you. They don't hate their person, So that establishes, okay, those are the parameters for. I thought they were going to subvert that, like, oh, humans don't know any better. The dogs are actually more aware. But no, that was them setting up the parameters for how the dogs behave, because the dog's memories are kind of spotty. Stuff will come back to them when things trigger it, but they don't really have a long-term memory. And like sometimes they'll forget things they just told themselves a little while ago. And like one will have a revelation and remember something and then forget it after sleeping. It's a more interesting 51st dates, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and no, they do play into the forgetfulness too, because there's a scene in there where the dogs are talking about steak and like, what steak? I don't remember steak. Yeah, you found a steak yesterday. I don't remember that steak.
He's like, hey, are you lying to me? He's like, did we bury the steak? Yeah. One of them's just having his own tangent through 2 books about the steak, essentially. Yeah, I guess since we're not going to do these like normal format wise, I guess we can kind of show off the different covers here, because 1 and 2 are out, right?
Yes.
Oh no. So we got one with the Signs of the Lambs cover. And then 2, of course, Pet Cemetery. That's absolutely magnificent. I love this cover. This is just absolutely wonderful. You got to thank Magnus Comics for actually donating this issue of number 1 to us so we could do the review, or so I could do the review. Caidan paid a lot for all of his.
Yes.
He bought several copies and several variants and paid a lot for them. It was really, really kind of Jim to help us out, and he is honestly I'm gonna take a little bit of deviation here to kiss some butt for a second, just because man, you were supposed to get a variant copy you went to buy a variant copy that was mislabeled with the wrong price, and when it came up, it was 4 times as much, and he sold it to you at the price it was marked.
Yes.
Because he wasn't going to mess you up or send you out of there. He probably lost money in that thing.
He probably did, and no, he's always treated us well and good. And I actually got my copy of the first one, the Horrocks, signed for him and gave it to him.
Yeah, and again, so Madness Comics in Texas. You guys can, if you're not from around here, you can still check them out online on Facebook. They're good folk, and so they've always taken real good care of us. So, back to the comic, man. This was really good. This was enthralling. It was interesting, and I get a lot of comics pulled, and there's several series that are short-run series that I'm like, I'm not really interested in continuing reading it, but I don't stop buying them because I'm a completionist. I'm like, well, I'll finish the run, but they're not great.
No.
And I get bored. I'm like, I sit there and look, because when I get home, I take pictures of all my comic covers, and then I go find places to read them online. That way I don't have to open my comics. I don't read anything I don't buy.
Yeah.
But I don't want to open my comics.
Fair. That's fair. Not a problem.
So I go online and read them. That way I don't have to open the damn thing and mess up their fine quality. I don't want to get my fingers on them. They've been handled enough by people just getting to me. You know what I mean? But I'll take my pictures of all my covers that I pulled that week, and I'll sit outside and I'll scroll through and see what I'll read first. And like, there's some I get to, and I'm like, maybe it gets better. Like, honestly, Batman's Grave towards the end got that way. I think that was probably because there was a big hiatus because of the coof. But that might have been it for me. But yeah, it wasn't that and the Alfred who was talking like a Gen X political science major was kind of aggravating. It wasn't that I don't mind your rhetoric, guys. I don't mind you using characters as a mouthpiece, but maybe pick the appropriate one, because Alfred wasn't it.
No.
Just saying, just find one that maybe it lines up with their personality, so it's not as noticeable that you're using a character as a mouthpiece for your point of view. All right, sorry, I digress. Speaking of, none of that in here. This is just a good story.
Yeah, it is a great story.
It's interesting the way they unfold it through, because the dogs are
unreliable witnesses.
Yeah, so I mean, they remember things in clips and stuff, but for a while you think, maybe this, like through the first book, you think, after your first revelation, you're almost thinking to yourself, this dog might not be remembering this correctly. Mm-hmm. They could be wrong. We've established that. And only later on, when they find some evidence, do we go, oh, no, that's not what was happening. Okay, she did actually remember that. It just comes and goes. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, but the things they do remember, they actually, remember fairly correctly.
Yeah, and they do find items that do trigger that. So it does establish.
It almost feels like the dogs, it almost feels like especially the little small one who were kind of... Sophie, who's our intro to the world here. I mean, it feels like she's definitely got some PTSD kind of symptoms going on here. Yeah. And obviously so. And then the dog memory, I guess, doesn't really help with everything, It's an interesting story. And again, I keep wanting to tell you guys more about this because it's so good. But I don't want to spoil anything for you. When does number 3 come out? Do we know?
Stray Dogs 3 comes out April 21st.
Okay. So hopefully this video comes out before that. So you guys can know to go get Stray Dogs on April 21st when it comes out. I really enjoy this. I can't say enough about it. Now, my heart is in my throat the entire time I do read some of this because I don't want the cute dogs to die, especially the cute cartoon dogs. I mean, we're all still traumatized from Bambi's, mom being shot off screen, and that was a deer. Like, we eat those things. This is man's best friend, dude. Like, you don't kill man's best friend. That's tragic.
Yeah, and in 2 issues, they didn't go into a whole lot of intro to the dogs, like in-depth background, but what we did gave them all a personality, and it was great.
Yeah, the little light touching, just, because they put them in a big group ensemble. Like kind of get interaction between Sophie and the kind of who's the spokesperson. But there's several little things. What was it?
Aldo.
Was it Aldo?
Rusty. Aldo's the beagle.
Ah, okay. And then there's a big one who bit one to
Imogen.
Keep everyone quiet. Yeah. And distract them. Because apparently I think he knows what's going on.
I think he does.
He might have been...
He's not the first. Earl was the first.
Earl was the first?
He's the old bloodhound. He's old.
Because I was like, maybe Imogen, or what was it?
Yeah, Imogen
or whatever. Maybe that's his dog, and it wasn't a stray he picked up or whatever. Mm-hmm. So maybe the loyalty belongs to him.
Yeah, but they do say that Earl is the oldest one. He's been here the longest. So.
He's been here the longest. Okay, yeah, that's right. They do make a mention of that. Well, they basically establish. Again, I don't want to say anything about this because I liked going into this not knowing what I was getting. Because when I settled into this wonderful little story, that was a night. Because here's the thing. We complain a lot about getting the same thing over and over again. So a lot of times, basically, what we're forced to go do as far as entertainment goes is go find something that's nostalgia done right. Because, yeah, we've seen it before, but at least it was done well. Mm-hmm. This is what it is. This is not a story you haven't heard before, but it's from a perspective and told in a way that I don't think I've seen before.
Mm-hmm. It's unique. It's great. And I love the way that they're taking the horror genre and giving it this happy-go-lucky spin. Yeah,
and I don't feel like the dogs are in any real danger in the same way that they would be if this was like anthropomorphic or there's a serial killer stalking this. They're mostly just witnesses to these things, but even so, the terror that they experience, the emotions they experience, because again we're seeing it through them, is really heartbreaking and heavy in a way that, and I don't like shit like this. I don't like heavy stuff. I really don't. I like to have fun. Life is heavy and shitty enough. My escapism is for fun. But all I will say though is, and I'm not going to say much more because everything I want to say is going to spoil. It better have a happy ending for these little pooches though. You know what I mean? You can't put me through this and then have the fucking red fern grow, okay? Because if that happens, TNT, I'm going to be an unhappy man. Okay?
Paramount.
What's that?
Paramount Animation picked it up.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, TNT is my new name for Trish and Tony.
Trish and Tony.
Yeah.
TTT.
Yeah.
Trish, Tony, and Tony.
Oh, yeah. Well, that throws off my TNT thing.
Yeah, no, when in the first issue, when that revelation hits, like, it hit me hard, and I was just like, oh.
Well, oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Because the chain, I forgot to even finish my thought from the very beginning of this thing, because we're talking about getting hit with it. I was hit after the vet scene, and they did establish that because the next scene with Sophie is a change of location, and I won't go too much into it. That change of locale hit me. I was like, oh, fuck, what happened? Because they don't explain that. They just throw you right into it.
Yeah.
And that's the first time you get disoriented. And you're like, okay, what's happening here? And then by the end of it, when they reveal what's happening here, and they drop the bomb on you, it's done. It's done so well.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Go pick it up. Go pick up.
Go pick up
entire
the first
series.
2, and yeah, when number 3 comes out, just go ahead and grab the back catalog of 1 and 2 while you're there. I mean, you got anything else?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I love this. I love the way that it's told. I love the animation. Like I said, it's a nostalgic kickback, and it's...
Well, here's the thing. So you guys know, we're going to finish this series on Bagged and Board, and we did not spoil these first 2 for you, but I think we may have to do regular reviews from here on out.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're going to have to do regular reviews, and I think when we get to number 3, we'll give a summary for 1 and 2. So we'll give you that long, you guys. And hopefully we don't put this out like the day before 3 comes out. So you guys have until issue 3 comes out, essentially, and we do our review to catch up and read, because when issue 3 comes out and the next Stray Dogs Bagged and Board comes out, we are going to do a summary of 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And fresh issue 3 with our commentaries for all you lovely people to enjoy. So guys, please go check these books out. So right back up. I don't want you to forget. I want to be fresh in your mind up until the moment we say goodbye. There you go. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Bagged and Board and for checking out this new comic with us. And I hope you actually go pick up a copy if you haven't already. And stay tuned for issue 3 to come out and read along with us, man. We're back to do the review and the commentary on it. So, but like, subscribe, and go check out your local comic shop to get a copy of Stray Dogs. Or if you don't have a local comic shop, check out Madness Comics. I will put a link down in the subscription to their Facebook. So, yeah, man. You got anything else?
No, hopefully by the time this ends, my number 1 that I got remarked and signed by Tony Rodriguez will be in from Slabbed.
Ooh, did you go to
CBCS.
CCS?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nicer about the signature. Did you pay for the signature thing?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Again, go read some comics and say hi to your mother for me. Now, if that movie had as much, violence in it as that one did, like if someone had strangled, Adam Sandler, it might have been a better movie.